Hey everyone, I thought I'd show another game that I recently wrote. It's a little bit of a novelty. There's no contest really associated, but it's Othello, but on a hexagonal board. I'm kind of sitting in my car outside of a McDonald's. I don't know if that's the reflection of the sign showing up there. Let us go. Well, the moves are all symmetric, so we're gonna go 14. And the computer, well, it's an opening move, so the computer moved already. And we're going to go 24. Othello was the very first game I ever wrote, the standard 8x8 Othello, because obviously I had played it as a child, and among one of the first concepts I ever learned when I did Othello was how to represent the board as a bit vector. So there are many advantages of basically you have 61 different cells and you represent them as two binary numbers, one for the black pieces and one for the white pieces, and then all of your captures and legal moves can be computed as as bitwise shift operations, and that's why we can do millions and millions of nodes every second. The computer is already thinking 30 some moves ahead with a bunch of pruning. It's not a complete search, that's why it's thinking that far ahead. Some of the pruning techniques that are used are basically, well, you have alpha beta pruning, which is when you see a move that's already worse than another move based on one possible response, right? And then you have multi-probe cut. This is when you want to search the value of a position that's 10 plies away, and you see that at 5 plies away, it's already over a threshold. You can cut that out, and then there are variations on top of that. Let's see, we're going to go 47. Oh, we are red. Apologies there. I'm not a very good Othello player. And the computer thinks it is 3 pieces ahead, which is not bad. I usually don't do this well. I've learned, actually, most of the Othello that I know, I've learned from actually playing against my own programs. That's, I would say in my lifetime, the majority of my playing Othello is against my own programs. I've been writing it for a little over 8 years now. But I've been writing over the last couple of weeks. I've been writing all these variations of Othello because I feel comfortable about it. I got into a significant meltdown trying to write other games that are not I'm not as well versed on, and competing, kind of comparing them against other programs I find online. And I have this bad habit. If I'm doing terrible at some game, and I've already invested a ton of time into it, I just can't seem to get out of it until something really, really bad happens. Like I get into a meltdown and get myself in trouble, or not sleep, and get into car accidents. Or I haven't gotten into a car accident this time, but I had a few close calls, or basically almost kill myself over it. Conversely, if I'm doing really well at a game, I'll feel like I don't want to break that streak. I want to do even better and better and better. It's kind of like a gambler, if they're on a winning streak, they want to win more. If they're losing, they kind of want to win it back. I have that feeling with some of my games, unfortunately, and I had a serious wake-up call a couple weeks ago when I almost killed myself. I don't want to talk about it, but I almost killed myself. and I had a serious wake-up call. So I decided to take a break from all those other games that are that I'm competing in. This one I'm not really competing in, so I thought I'll do it for fun. And I've been writing some programs on astrology, using the signs of the stars to predict the market. And unfortunately, 2 days ago, I had a significant meltdown writing that as well. So I don't know what's gotten into me. Maybe I'm just having other troubles. It's just manifesting itself on the games and the other programming that I'm involved in. Let's see, 25. I'm kind of excited though, because after I get off work tomorrow, I have 3 days off in a row, and I can finally either go to Missoula or where else do I want to go? Maybe go to Vancouver, BC. I haven't been able to travel very far in recent times because I would have one work day and then I would have one day off and then another. I work at a tutoring center, so those kind of schedules really eat at me because on one hand I'm not getting all that many hours, and on the other I can't really leave town either. So I'm really excited that I have those three. I hope nothing comes up. Although if something comes up, it's extra hours, which is nice, but I hate the hours being broken like that. I guess I really can't complain about that, but can't wait to get out of here. I'm actually thinking of leaving the computer at home and not taking any of my devices when I go out next week. I'm really looking forward. I haven't done that in a long time, and I don't know. It'll be a challenge, but I think I'll enjoy whatever life brings me when I do that. Yeah, it's been God, it's been almost 2 decades since I spent a day away from computer programming. It's ever since I started when I was a kid. I was fascinated with a problem called Ramsey theory, and then obviously I worked on the computer throughout school and throughout my career. Right now, I'm working at a tutoring center and also Washington Technology University. A lot of, every day I'm programming something there or teaching about it. And obviously, my hobbies, my computer games, my astrology, or when I'm shooting pictures of the stars and then editing it in some way. God, it's been a long time since I've taken a few days away from the computer. Oh, I guess the longest I've ever gone away from the computer was when I was hospitalized 3 years ago. God, I don't want to do that again. Let's see, 46. Yeah, I can't wait to leave my computer at home and just go somewhere. It's Let's see. See, I suck at this game. The computer thinks it's 15 pieces ahead, and I think all of our legal moves give away. Well, no, 59 doesn't give away a corner. But I was just thinking that a lot of times I suck at presenting what I'm trying to do. So when I go to these conferences, the International Computer Gaming Association, a lot of people just think I'm crazy, and they think I could be they think I'm crazy for writing so many games and all that, but I actually learn a lot from it. And what they don't realize is that without all of the games being done, none of the games would be done so well because I'm actually learning from the other games. But unfortunately, the reception from the public is that I'm crazy, and it's affecting all of my games. I'm doing so many of them. Let's see, 43. At the same time, at the school that I'm teaching at, people make jokes at me. Part of the reason I like the places I'm teaching at right now is at least I've been at a number of different workplaces before, and there's a huge stigma attached to people my age. I'm 32 years old, by the way. People my age that are still single. And I, at least, I feel accepted for being single there. But at the same time, people find my choice of hobbies very strange. But at least I got over the single barrier where I work right now. That's been a tough one at other places that I've worked at. People just think that I have all this extra time on my hands, that maybe instead of, going to Missoula over the 3-day break that I do get, maybe I could be doing other things. And what they don't realize is that, just like some people choose another human being as a partner, I happen to choose going to the country as my partner. And that a lot of people who are married, especially people who have been married for some length of time, they might lose sight of that, and that's been unfortunate for a good part of my career. And I really feel I found people who have accepted this philosophy of, if it were, of mine. They don't have to accept it, but I think we should live and let live. I would never poke fun at somebody for choosing to get married instead of going stargazing in Ellensburg, or writing a computer game, or whatever it is, right? I mean, sometimes when people really get on my nerves for poking fun at me, then I'll poke fun at them, but I'd rather it be live and let live. Unfortunately, we are losing by 25 pieces. So, to give you an idea, a couple years, 3 years ago now, I was working at a startup company, and I had a manager who was also Taiwanese. My family's from Taiwan. My manager was also Taiwanese. And I learned that that's not necessarily an advantage to have to have almost a family member as your boss. Because we weren't communicating like business people. We were communicating more like a family, and it just made any sort of discussion, any sort of business negotiation just so much more challenging. Everything flowed too well. I at one point, money was tight at the startup, obviously, and when I was applying for the startup position, my recruiter had discussed with me about how much they were paying, and when I got there, it was very different. To their credit, they did make it up with other benefits. The problem was that when I would talk to my manager and I was finding out about why the difference, he mentioned a few things, and then we started talking on very personal level. He asked me, he ended up giving me another week of vacation. It was 2 weeks, and he gave me 3. But he asked me what I planned to do with the vacation, and I talked to him about the stargazing, I talked to him about the computer game conference, and so he realized I was single. He said, you don't need the money now, you're single. He said, well, he didn't say single, he said, why do you need so much money? You're paying a very high tax rate, probably, maybe we should give it to you after you buy a house or get married or something like that. It was too personal, and it made me realize that there's a danger of getting of being too close to your manager. We Taiwanese people, we treat each other almost like an extended family, and outside of work it's very nice, right? If I go to my favorite restaurant, or my computer gaming conference, or when I go stargazing, and I see somebody that we can almost treat like a family member, that is nice, right? Just not in the workplace. He thought better of it. I'll give him credit for that. He thought better of it. Afterwards, when I brought it up to him, he said he doesn't even remember saying that, and I take it as he was too embarrassed to remember. So it's alright, but it just shows the danger of being too close. Yep, so we're forced to give... No, we can go 44 and still retain control of the corners, but I think we're... Well, the computer says it's ahead by 41. It's out of 61 pieces on the board. Let's go 3. Yeah, so that was an optimal move because it's still ahead 41. Wow, 47 already. Let me see how I can position this so that we can see the screen a little bit better. I was hoping it would come out a little bit better in my car. Unfortunately, inside my apartment, there's a lot of noise going on. My roommates, it's New Year's Eve, or the night before New Year's Eve. Okay, it's pondering now. Oh, we can take a corner, but I bet that's a trap. So let's see, we can go 61 and take that corner over there. Yeah, that wasn't very helpful. Yep, so we have to give up the 35. We have to go 34. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have tried to take a break away from... I've never really taken a break away from computer programming. I mean, I took a break away from writing the other games, but I wrote a bunch of Othello programs, and then I wrote the Astrology, and every time I have tried to take more than 48 hours away from computer programming, bad things have happened. I go crazy, I destroy things, or I abuse various things. Not drugs, but I have abused caffeine and overeating, and not so pleasant things happen every time I do that. So I'm a little bit nervous about next week. I'm thinking about whether or not I should give it another try, but I think eventually I'm going to have to bite the bullet. So, actually, do I have a move? Yeah, I actually have a bug in my program because it looks like it switched the sides. Oh well, I'll get to it. Anyways, new decade. I'm excited about all the possibilities. Hopefully I could find some balance and some peace with my computer programming and not go crazy like I did a couple weeks ago. I almost couldn't be here to talk to you guys about these two Othello variations because of what happened 2 weeks ago. Thanks for watching.